Hey there, Retro Games fans. This is Andy C from Pieces of 8-Bit. This week is going to be a bit of a return to normality. Now, for those of you who've been watching my channel, you'll know that I've got PlayStation 1 in the living room at the moment. It's been promoted to being one of my main consoles, and so I've been playing on that. Got quite a few games that I wanted to play through, and then at the end of the month I'm going to come back and talk to you about what it was like having a PlayStation 1 as a main controller back in my living room, talk to you a little bit about some of the games I've been playing, and just sort of tell you what it was like to kind of relive that mid-90s vibe. So I thought throughout this month what I would do when I'm not doing other things is to review some PlayStation 1 games. So as you know, from last week, I was in Milton Keynes. I was in Milton Keynes 2 weeks ago now, but I released the video last week. One of the games that I played when I was there was Time Crisis 2, an absolutely amazing game. And as you can see, this is me and Oliver just in the on the screen now, playing in the arcade. The whole point of the Time Crisis games, this was Time Crisis 2, is that you are in a position of cover. Then you've got your light gun and you press the pedal, basically. You press the pedal down and you're sort of down, and you press the pedal again, you come up, and you use your light gun to shoot all the enemies and complete all of the various missions. Time Crisis 1, the original Time Crisis, came out on the PlayStation 1 around sort of 96, 97 time. It was in conjunction with the release of a light gun at the time for the PlayStation 1, and so you could sort of relive that mid-90s Time Crisis classic in your own home on a console. Game was by Namco, incredibly popular. Question is, two questions really. One is Time Crisis any good on a console? And two, can you play Time Crisis without a light gun? Now, playing without a light gun is an important thing to know about, because ultimately in this day and age of OLED and LCD televisions, most of your light guns won't work. So I've got my trusty NES light gun here, which is a lovely little piece of kit. I'd love to be able to play Duck Hunt with it, but I can't because I don't currently have a CRT screen, at least not one that I can plug anything into. So ultimately, you can play on the PlayStation 1 Time Crisis without the gun. It is possible. I have had a go with it. It's actually okay. You know, like basically you sort of hold the controller. You imagine you can hold the controller with your with two hands basically on the X and the triangle, which is your sort of cover and fire. And then you use the D-pad to sort of move your crosshairs around. Couple of things that are a bit of a nuisance, a bit on the slow side, so that's the main issue. But what you can do is when you kind of go back into cover, the cursor stays in the same place. So once you've played it a couple of times and you know where all the enemies are, you can kind of move the cursor where you're under cover, pop up, adjust slightly and shoot, and you can actually do that surprisingly quickly. The real downside with it is that you kind of lose where the crosshairs are, so you get a little blue dot on the screen and it kind of, there are times when you just can't quite see where it's gone, and the issue is obviously speed, because you've got to be quite quick in Time Crisis, especially if you're playing in arcade mode. You run out of time pretty quickly. So I did have a go on that. I thought for the purposes of doing the review today, what I would do is play it emulated, and so that's what I've done. I'm using an emulator called DuckStation, which is available on most major desktop platforms, Linux, MacOS, and Windows. I've got that working, and I had a little bit of a hunt around to see whether you could actually simulate the light gun with a mouse, and it turns out that you can. So I'm going to show you quickly how you do that as part of the video as well, and then we're going to play through a few levels, and then afterwards I'm going to tell you what I thought about it, and whether you should kind of go out and check it out, and obviously we'll cover off the usual what's coming up next on the channel. So sit back, strap in, enjoy the ride. This is Time Crisis, brilliant game from the 1990s on the PlayStation 1. See you on the other side. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to use the DuckStation emulator for PlayStation 1 with a mouse to be able to enable you to use your mouse pointer as a light gun. So first of all, we're going to get DuckStation loaded. So when you get DuckStation loaded, I'm not going to go through the setup. There's plenty of detail on the web on how to do it. But ultimately, if you look up DuckStation, I'll put a link in the description. You can download it, and it's very, very easy to use. The main thing to bear in mind is that you will need the PlayStation 1 BIOS software. So it's not something that you'll automatically be able to kick the emulator straight off with. You'll need to go and find the BIOS. Now, in theory, legally speaking, you should use the BIOS that comes with the PlayStation 1 that you've got. There are tools out there for extracting it, which are a little bit involved. Obviously, there are other ways of finding a BIOS, but I'm not going to put a link in there. That's for you to go find out for yourself. But legally speaking, you need to go find the BIOS from your PlayStation 1 and then load that into here. Once you've done that, it's very easy. It'll step you through like a wizard, and you can include all of those things as you go, and you can point it to a folder where all of the games are. When it comes to the games, unlike other emulators, you're going to use the folder. So you're just going to have most games or emulators will just read the zip file and access the contents that way. With PlayStation games, you need to unpack the zip file. You'll end up with a folder, and what it's typically looking for is a queue or a bin file. And basically, if you put all the PlayStation games in one place, unpack them all in one place, point the DuckStation emulator tool at that location, it will then find all of the games that you've got in there. It'll just trawl through it and load them up, as you can see on the screen here right now. So what we want to do now is we want to basically create a new controller profile, essentially. So to do that, we go over to our settings and we go to controllers. Okay, and when we're in controllers here, what we want to do is go to our you can see I've already got them set up here. We're going to create a new profile. Excuse me. So try that again. Controllers, new profile, and we're going to call that let's say Gun Games 3. So I've already done it, as you can see. So this is a little bit surplus to requirements for me, as you can see. So we're not going to copy all of the bindings across. So let's create a brand new empty profile. We're going to enable mouse mapping. That's important, otherwise it doesn't work. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to controller port 1, and then we're going to go up to here, and we're going to change that to GunCon, which is the name of the gun that came out when Time Crisis came out, in fact. Now you don't need to worry about anything on the left hand side here. What you're going to do is just worry about these 4 options here on the right hand side. So we're going to click on this one here. You can see it starts to count down. We're going to just click and then click again on our left button if that's what we want to use for firing. Fire off screen. We can pick another button, so let's use the right click for that one. The side buttons. Now I've got a couple of side buttons on my mouse, but I'm going to use the control wheel for this one. So you click left click and then press the button that you want. Left click. And then I've got another button there, which is the back button on my mouse that I've got there. So that's how you can set it up there. And obviously, if you want to have different profiles, you can absolutely do that. So let's close that down right now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go up to Time Crisis here. We're going to click on Properties. And then in Properties, we're going to pick the input profile that we've created. So you can see the new one that we've got there. We're just going to click on the one that I created before because I know that works for me. And that's it. That is it. Now we can load the game up. So if I click on that, let's do a fresh boot of the game. And you can see already, look, that's my mouse moving around. And I've got the mouse pointer there. So I'll wait for this to get started, and then we will get in and do a bit of a gameplay and a bit of a review. Okay, so here we go. Let's get the game loaded up. So select UK so I can understand what's going on. Right, so I've just got to calibrate my gun so you can see me just moving the crosshairs around. That's just my mouse pointer moving around. I believe there are ways of getting your Wiimote to work on certain platforms, or as almost like a light gun. I don't know how
there's been a kidnapping.
Easier possible that
it's
is.
Rachel, the daughter of the president of Sersia. Get into the castle and rescue Rachel.
Sometime, somewhere, someone is plotting a government overthrow. A small republic is in danger. It's
Classic.
time for the one-man army.
Look at these graphics.
Richard Miller.
There we go. That's me. Well, that's you. Richard Miller.
She must be dead by now.
Don't come!
There we go. I don't need to play it now. Look, I've got the whole story. That's who we're rescuing, Rachel McPherson. So classic,
Since you have traveled so very far,
classic Rescue the Princess type game here. But, you know, it was the mid-90s. What's going on there? Sort of like some kind of Wolverine thing going on there. Look at these 3D graphics, amazing, right? I would have loved this, and I think the fact that you could play this in the arcade, that was always great. When you could play games in the arcade and then play them on your home console, was always good fun. All right, so let's start skipping through. Right, we're going to go straight for arcade. And we're going to go in the story mode. And the thing with the arcade one, as you can imagine, obviously it's arcade time limit, so we won't be playing this for very long. I can get just about to the end of the first stage, so I played this a little bit. I played it, you know, I got quite far without even using the mouse. I can get a little bit further with the mouse because I can be a bit quicker. But yeah, let's dive in and have a look. Let's have a go. Alright, stage 1.
this nation will soon be mine.
Look at those shoulder pads. What is he wearing?
Taste of revenge is sweet.
I think you might call him eccentric, perhaps.
Your father will pay the price for destroying the Imperial rule.
Okay, so he's obviously should have been some prince or whatever before, but has now been overthrown. Some kind of revolution. Ah, shady guy in the corner. I can help you out.
There! Shoot him!
Shoot him. Okay, right, here we go then. I don't know what the sort of 1950s rocker style thing was that was going on here, but we'll go with it. Okay, right. So my middle button is the. There we go. Oh, okay. But it is on the higher resolution screen, which means that my mouse moves a lot slower. When I was playing this on a lower res screen earlier, so I sort of had more movement. I've got more fidelity, but it takes me a bit longer to do anything. Right. Okay. Don't quite know what happened there. I think that submarine sinking. Oh, there was this guy here. Generally what happens is I'll run out of... let's control that a little bit. Right. Oh, headshot. Amazing. I've gone quiet now because I'm concentrating. What? That you absolutely were shot then. Yes, thank you very much. That's outrageous. Alright, here we go. I seem to remember getting quite stuck on this bit earlier. Right, there's a guy over there. Need that guy. He's got like some kind of rocket launching thing or some more powerful gun or a shotgun or something. Oh, I lost a life. Okay. That's going to happen. I'm probably going to run out of time as well. Because by the time you get to the sort of second stage of the second part of this first stage, you kind of don't have enough time. So you end up using up some of your credits. So it was like an arcade. At least I don't have to put actual 50p's in. Oh dear, I'm shot in the face. 127. 32 seconds is the path. I don't know how would you even do that in 32 seconds. Incidentally, my accuracy is massively improved, so it's about 70%. When I did it earlier, it was without the mouse. I've got to watch that thing there. You knocks your head off if you're not careful. Okay, where's... yeah, my accuracy was around 40% when I was trying to do it with just the controller. But it's nice that there was an option for it. Like, you didn't have to have the peripheral if you didn't want it. You could still play the game. And it is still quite enjoyable, you know? I wasn't going to demonstrate it here because I would make a fool of myself. But, yeah, right now, last time I did this, I got deaded. Yeah, there we go. Same again. Oh, that was catastrophic. Oh, wow, well, yeah, hello. Oh, no more lives. I died already. Alright, I've got 8 credits. I might have to put about £4 into the machine. I'm going to start here again. It's a bit easier once you kind of restart because then you've got more lives and more time. There he is. Catch him. I don't know why he says action. It's supposed to be like some kind of action movie, maybe. Or whether it's just something that he says, I don't know. Once it's on a postcard. Right. Right. Right, can I get away with that losing an eye? Oh! I don't know how to do that. Literally, waited until he'd stopped shooting. Right. Alright. Oh, I think I lost a life there. That's really irritating. Oh, no! Why is it every time that I do these videos, I'm worse than I practice and practice, and I think, yeah, that's okay, I'm good now. It's fine, it's good enough for a demo. I've got 1 life left. Alright. The reality of it is I won't have enough time on this next stage anyway. Area 2 clear. 56 seconds is the part, and I got 2 minutes and 36 seconds, which I'm sure you'll agree is terrible. I don't really know how you get as quick as what it suggests, because you know you really do have to move quite quick. Okay, 50 seconds right now. I know there's a guy over here on the right. These guys, these. Oh, there we go. Oh. Yeah, right, okay. This is generally the way of things, isn't it? Each stage I have to do a restart. 48 seconds. There was music though, the PlayStation version, there's music that plays here. Actually, probably just as well it doesn't, because I'll probably get a copyright strike on my... Okay. Right, here we go, 52 seconds. Ah! I had a much bigger crosshair when I played this earlier. I'm playing this on higher res and my crosshair is really small. Oh no! You have to wait a crucial few seconds for the helicopter to go at that back bit. If you don't get it in the front there, it kind of costs you precious seconds. Right, there's a guy over here that is a nuisance. Yeah, that guy. Alright. Uh-oh. Well, I'm running a bit short on time here. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to do it. Oh, 13 seconds left. Just gotta go for it. Gotta go for it. Oh no, no more lives. Oh, so close. I think that's about as far as I've been able to get, to be honest with you. Yeah, if I click on restart now, where's that going to take me back to? It's going to take me all the way back to here. Yeah, so I think probably that's as good a place to leave it as any. Very quick sort of gameplay through, but it is an arcade game at the end of the day. So yeah, let's just kind of wrap it up at this point, and I'll tell you what I thought about it. This is Time Crisis. I'll see you on the other side. So there you have it. That was the 1996 arcade classic Time Crisis by Namco. A beautiful port, if you ask me, over to the PlayStation 1. So what did I think? Well, I think I just gave it away there, right? I really enjoyed playing that. That was really good fun. Obviously, it's a short review. It's an arcade-style game, so it's going to be pretty short play, and they're going to want you to put in your money into the slots over and over and over again. So, you know, you're typically going to run out of time. Even the best people in the world are typically going to run out of time. So you just kept feeding it with your pound coins or your quarters or your 50p's or whatever it was. But yeah, a really enjoyable game and a really enjoyable port on the PlayStation 1. I would encourage you, if you own it, to go out and get the basically to go and find the ROM, or to pull the ROM and play it on something like DuckStation emulated. So if you own a PlayStation 1 and you own the Time Crisis game, just emulate it and play it with a mouse, because that was, with a mouse, probably about as close as you're going to get. If you don't own the GunCon and you don't own a CRT, then you know you're kind of not going to be able to use a light gun, so this is probably the best way to do it. I have heard that you can use a Nintendo Wii controller, the motion controller, to emulate that on some computers, but to be honest with you, I actually felt that the mouse was a really good alternative. It's not quite the same as shooting at a screen, I get it, but it is pretty good, and there's, you know, you get a decent amount of accuracy with it and speed of response. So I really enjoyed that. It was really good fun, and to be perfectly honest, I enjoyed playing it on the PlayStation 1 with the controller. It is doable, and I think with enough practice, I think once you've played it a few times, I think you could probably get quite good at it. And there are sort of some distinct advantages, which is, sort of like I said earlier, it remembers where the crosshair is when you go back in for cover. So when you pop up, you can sort of move the cursor to where you think the guy's going to be, and then when you pop back up, you can pick him off quite quickly. So I think you could probably get quite quick at it with a bit of practice, but it feels a bit less natural to use the controller. But fair play to Namco for actually providing support for playing it with the controller or with the gun controller. You know, like it meant that they probably ultimately sold more copies of it, but it really obviously is very much designed for that light gun. So yeah, would I recommend playing it? Yeah, definitely go and check it out. Go and see if you can pick yourself up a copy. I picked a copy of mine up. I think it was about £6. It wasn't expensive. So yeah, I also, from a charity shop, picked up House of the Dead 2, and it was in a PlayStation box. I'm thinking to myself, I don't remember it coming up on the PlayStation, but thought maybe I could just try the same sort of thing. Discovered that it's actually for the Dreamcast, so I'll have to go and see if it's possible to do the same with the Dreamcast, emulating the light gun with the mouse, because I absolutely also love House of the Dead. That was House of the Dead 2. Also fantastic arcade games, which got ported to the consoles sort of in the 90s or late 90s in the case of House of the Dead. So really good fun. Yeah, great faithful port of the arcade classic. So yeah, absolutely go check it out. So what's coming up in the channel? Few quite exciting things. Well, I think they're exciting. You may not do. Yeah, we're going to be carrying on with our game reviews through the month of October with the PlayStation 1. I don't know how many I'll get in. It might not be that many actually, because I have a couple of other things that I also want to do. So we'll be doing that, and then obviously, as I mentioned, at the end of the month, the PlayStation will come back in here. We'll pick another console, and we'll do a review of how I found it, and some tips on getting yourself a PlayStation 1, getting back into that mode, some things to look out for, how to get it hooked up, how to get the best out of it, all of those kind of things. I will also be doing a review on something else rather exciting. So a very good friend of mine, his dad was having a bit of a clear out, and he's given me a load of old BBC Bs. So what I'm going to be doing is, well, not so much a review, but I'm going to be basically restoring one of those. So giving it a good clean, fitting a new power supply to it. I'll tell you why I'm doing that. It's got a fantastic cub monitor that comes with it, and some disk drive and a load of games. And I've had a few goes with a few things as well, and it took me right back to those days when I was a kid in the 80s, going around my friend's house playing on his BBC, and obviously using the BBCs at school as well. So that's coming up. And then finally, I also want to do another Lego review. It may be that with everything else going on, that might wait till November. But I actually want to do a time-lapse recording of me doing a Lego build rather than showing you the finished product and talking through it. So I want to sort of do a film of me actually building the Lego and talking through the build process and how I found it, and then showing you the finished product and whether you should go and check it out yourself. So that's all coming up. I did also get a note today to say that my Amiga, which has been, by the sounds of it, very, very poorly, is also nearly finished. So I'm very excited about going to get that back soon. So shout out to Retro Repair Bear for sticking with it. It sounds like it has been a real labour of love. So very excited to be getting that back at some point. So we'll be probably looking at that, but that's most likely to be later in the year. So loads and loads of exciting things to come up. If you enjoy these videos, please do hit that like and subscribe button. As I always say, I do really appreciate every single subscriber that I get. It just really helps me to keep motivated, as I always say. Go out and check some of my other videos out. So yeah, I mentioned that I was in Milton Keynes a couple of weeks back. That was really good fun. If you fancy a weekend of geeking out and code breaking and history and sci-fi and all of those things that I certainly love, that was definitely worth a weekend away. And go check out my video and see what you think of that too. So yes, I'll stop rambling on now. Thank you ever so much for watching, as always. Yeah, that's it for today. So take care of yourselves, and until the next time, bye for now.